Hello guys, welcome to TechBay. In this video, we're going to create a server, a MongoDB database, and with the help of a API and Alamofire, we're going to display the data in our collection view and table view. So let's begin. Okay, now let's go to Safari and let's type install MongoDB, and now I'm going to select install MongoDB with community edition link and click on install on macOS. Now scroll down. In order to install MongoDB Community Edition, uh, there are two ways. First one is installing manually and second one is using Homebrew. In order to install MongoDB with the Homebrew, you must have Homebrew installed in your Mac. If you do not have, just download it by following this instruction here. For that, just click on this instruction. Now we have one line of command here. You just need to copy this one and just go to terminal and paste there and hit enter. Now provide system password and hit enter again. And now press enter. Now let's go back. Now it's time to install MongoDB. So first you need to copy this line of command. So copy and paste in the terminal. Now copy this line of code. Bro install MongoDB Community 4.4 and paste in the command and hit enter. Okay, that's it. We have MongoDB installed in our Mac. Now let's open one more tab and here I'm going to say install Node.js and just click on this link, one with installing Node.js web packages. Now let's scroll down and we have one option for installing it with the Homebrew. So just copy the command and paste in the terminal and hit enter. Now I'm going to install a graphical user interface for our MongoDB. So open new tab. I'm going to type Robo3D. Now click on this website. Now select the second one, download Robo3D only. Now click on download Robo3D and select Mac and click download. After downloading Robo3D, just open the Robo3D. Now here we will create a connection. Just click on create. And here we will leave all the fields as default and we will click save button. Before this, just remember the port number. So let's give save button and just click connect. Now here I'm going to create a new database. Right click and create a database. And I'm going to give name as newsdb. And just click create. Now click here and here we have one folder called collection. Then we're going to create collection. Right click and create collection. And let's name the collection name as feeds. And here in this collection we can add documents. and these documents will be in the format of JavaScript, and we will store here our news URL and news heading, provider info and image, and this info will be stored together with one object which is generated by MongoDB. Open double quotation, let's say head is going to be our news heading, and then colon, and then again double quotation, and inside here we will add our news. So what I have done is I just took some random data from internet and I saved that one in notes for simplicity purpose. Now I'm going to copy paste this one into here. So let's see. And heading, say just I'm going to copy the heading and I'm going to paste this one. This is going to be our heading. So now we have our first item in our document. Soon after that I need to put a comma, and I need to start from down here. Now I'm going to add my second item. Is going to be our image URL. What I have done is I saved the images that related to our news in imager.com. So I'm going to copy that one and I'm going to paste here. You can check this address. Actually I have image on this address. So I'm going to Safari and here I'm going to paste this URL. Click enter. You can see here I have image here. So let's go back. Next what I have is a provider info. It's simply a provider name just for the purpose of demonstrations. So now I will add a comma and it's going to be my third item, and it has comma also. Now I'm going to add my final item. This is actually a news URL I copied from internet. It's going to be our final item. And there is no need to add comma after the last item. So now we can save our item. Now I'm going to insert all of the news feeds quickly. Okay, now it's time to create our server. So let's go to terminal. Now I'm going to seed into the document directory in my Mac. So now I'm going to create a new folder using mkdir. So mkdir space and the folder name is going to be news and hit enter. Now I'm going to cd into that folder, cd space news. Now I'm going to create a file with .js extension. So let's say touch space app.js. Okay, now I'm going to initialize our npm package manager using npm init. So let's say npm space init. Now keep on hitting enter. Now I'm going to install Mongos and Express using npm package manager. So let's say npm space install. For install is going to be I and mongoose, and next one is going to be Express and hit enter. Now we install Mongoose and Express using npm package manager. What does this Mongoose is actually? Mongoose is an object data modeling library for MongoDB and Node.js, and here we will use that one to connect to our MongoDB database and to create a data model. And Express is a backend web application framework for Node.js. And here we will use the Express to handle our GET request through routing. So I'm going to open now the folder that we created in our documents directory. It's called news, and I'm going to open the app.js file using a text editor. I'm going to use a Sublime text editor. Now I'm going to import the Mongoose and Express to our project. So let's say const space mongoose is equal to require and inside here we will write mongoose. Now const express is equal to require express. Now I'm going to create an object for our express. So let's say const app is equal to express function. Now we will try to connect our mongoose to our database. Let's say mongoose dot connect, and now open the bracket, and inside the bracket uh, with single quotation, let's say mongodb a colon / localhost now colon and the mongodb port address as we saw that before 27017 and slash, and our database name is going to be let me check it again. newsdb, you can see here is our database name. newsdb. Okay, now I need to create a model for our collection in our database, and before that I'm going to create a schema which is also needed for our data model. So let's say const space field schema is equal to is going to be empty. Now we will create our data model. So let's say const feed is equal to mongoose dot model, and inside the double quotation is going to be our collection name, that is feeds, and here is going to be our schema. Okay, now I'm going to create a router using our express. So let's say app.route. Now open the quotation. Now put a slash. Now we're going to declare our collection name because we're going to route to that collection feeds. So I'm going to create a get request in order to handle a request from our news app. So let's say dot get, and this get request, it will contain a function with a request and a response. So open the bracket, and inside here let's say a function request comma response. Now we will declare the function by opening the curly brackets. And here what we'll do is we will check whether our data model is going to be feed. It has the data that is requested by our app, and if it has the data, then we will send the data, or else we will send as an error. So let's say feed dot find, and find is also a function, and it will have a function and it will return the data if it is available, or else it will return an error. So let's say function, first one is going to be error, and second one is going to be data. Let's say data found. Now we will declare this function using curly bracket like before. Make sure you put a semicolon after each of this function. Now we will check whether we have any error. If there is no error, then we will send the data to the app. So let's check if not error. It means if there is no error, a response dot send we will send found data is going to be our, that is data found is going to be our data, or else suppose if there is error, we will print, sorry, here is supposed to be console.log. We can print the error using console log option, and it's going to be error. Now I will assign a port address to our server. The server will be listening to that port for any incoming request. Let's say app.listen, and our port address is going to be 3000, comma. Now I will declare a function in order to display when our server has started. So let's say function now inside here we will log, that means we will print in the terminal console log server has started. That's it, and make sure we have everything closed perfectly. You need to put a semicolon here, and here this line, okay, and here one, and here one, and here there is no need to have a semicolon, and here there is no need to have a slash. Now click save. Now we will go to terminal. Now let's cd into our documents folder, cd space news. Now let's type not space app.js. It will run our server. We can see here our server has started, and still there is some warnings. You can see here we have two warnings, one for use new URL parser true in Mongo client connect, and one more is use unified topology true. We can get rid of this warning by simply adding these two lines in our MongoDB connection. So let's copy this one. Now put a comma and paste here. I need to add one more here. Use unified topology true. Now add a comma, add here. Okay, now let's save and rerun. In order to exit, press Ctrl C. Now our server has started and there is no more warnings. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a request to our port 3000 and I'm going to request for the data that is feeds. So now let's go to Safari and here I'm going to open a tab. For that, let's say localhost 3000 is going to be our port address and slash, and our collection name is going to be feeds. Now hit enter. Now you can see here we have a JSON file displayed in our browser. It's actually the data that we store in our database or the collection data. Okay, now let's open Xcode project. Now we need to display our data in our Tableview and CollectionView. In order to do that, I'm going to use Alamofire. So let's go to Safari. I'm going to type Alamofire. And let's go to github.com and Alamofire. And now click on code and copy this link. Now let's go to Xcode again and let's go to file, and you can see here Swift packages and click on add package dependency. Now paste that URL over there and hit next. Now keep on clicking next. Finish. So now we have our Alamofire in project. So let's go to our feed VC. Now let's import Alamofire. So in order to use Alamofire in our project, we need to build the project once. So press Command B. Now I'm going to create a function at the bottom here. Let's say fun pass function, and inside here we are going to make a request using our Alamofire, and we're going to fetch the data. So let's say Alamofire simply af dot make a request, select the first option, and we're going to make a request to our localhost 3000 ports. So let's say http colon / localhost now colon 3000 and our collection name / our collection name feeds. Now dot response. Now open the curly bracket and let's say response in. And what we're going to do here is we're going to fetch the response. If it is an error, we will display the error, or else we will fetch the data and we will pass the data. So we will check if let error is equal to response.error. If it is an error, we will print the error. Or else we're going to fetch the data using JSON serialization. So let's say let result is equal to try JSON serialization dot, I'm going to select one with JSON object and with data. With data is going to be our response dot data, and option is going to be empty array, and we will force this one as an NS array. Now I'm going to convert this result into a dictionary which is having key and value, both are string. Now by using for loop for array data in result, For data and result, going to open the bracket. So let's say let final result is equal to array data as, we'll cast that one as a dictionary with string, key and string value. So now you'll have data in our final result with the key and value, same like here in the MongoDB we saved. Just click on this one and the view document. You can see here we'll be having data with a key and values. So using this key, that is head, image or provider, we can fetch the value. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fetch the data, that is I'm going to fetch the image, provider and news info, and I'm going to store in this array. So I'm going to make this array empty and I'm going to initialize it with a string, and I'm going to change the let to var, and I'm going to add one more array. So let's begin. String is going to be empty. This is going to be head. Okay, now let's go back down. Now from the final result dictionary, I'm going to fetch the value using their key, and I'm going to store the values in respected array. So let news URL is equal to our final result, and inside here the key value is going to be key, it's news. Now news array dot append news URL, and make sure you add self in front of this one, because we are declaring this one instead of closure. So next is going to be header. So let's say header is equal to final result, and using the key head we will fetch the value, and we will append that one to our head array dot append. It's going to be header, and next is going to be provider. So the provider is equal to provider URL is equal to, so let's say final result is going to be provider, key is going to be provider, and self dot our provider array providers dot append and provider URL. So 1 2 3, now we have image. Finally image, so let image is equal to final result, and using the keyword, key value image. Now self dot image array dot append, it's going to be image. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to reload our table view and collection view inside this function, and I need to add self in front of. Okay, now we need to call this function inside of our view.load. So let's go to view.load. It's here. I'm going to call parse function. Okay, now I'm going to do some changes here, and this one, it is supposed to be head instead of news because we changed earlier. So it's a head, our heading array, and this one also in our collection view. Okay, and now I'm not going to display our image because we have only URL, so I'm going to comment that one, and here also. I'm also going to comment this line because we will get error because we are not downloading any image right now. Now the one last thing remaining is in the info.p list we need to add the app transport security settings, and we need to make the allow arbitrary loads true. So click the plus button here. Now click on app transport security settings, enter, and now click on this icon. Now it's pointing towards down. Now click on this plus. Now allow arbitrary loads and enter, and change it to yes. Okay, that's it. So now let's run the program. Okay, everything just perfect. We have news header, we have provider info, and since we are not downloading any image, we have the default image in our image view. In the next video, we will download image using URL session data task. So thank you for watching guys. See you in the next video.